Snuck out of work again a little bit earlier today. But yeah, I'm gonna be headed to where the fuck am I going? Pep Boys to see if they have any fittings in their speed shop. Dash 4 in any angle, and try to work on the car in the daylight today because I'm tired of working in the dark. So out of work. So we out here at Pep Boys. 45-4 line hose end. Look at this shit. $17.99 for red and blue. The straight is $11.99. It's just so expensive, but you have a 90 right here for 20 bucks. Holy fuck. Alright guys, so I stopped by Pep Boys earlier. Got me a few things. I'm not 100% positive that crush fitting was gonna work on the return fitting for the return line. So I went and I got new brass assortments, compression rings, compression sleeves in case mine leaks. So have this on hand. Hopefully I hope there's a right size in here for the one that I'm gonna need if I need it. And I also got the Dash 4 45 degree. So let me show you why I got a 45 degree. I was sitting in Pep Boys trying to figure out how I was gonna route this return line, and I think so. Let me show you here. So yeah, pretty simple here. 90 off the bottom of the regulator, and then it's gonna like S its way up into the 45 over here. I really don't like it being in front of the booster like that, but right now I'm gonna have to work with what I have, and this is what I had. That's where it sits. This is where it's going. That's where it's coming from. So I'm gonna build this line, and then I'm probably gonna be pulling the fuel pump just so I can have it in there before I forget later down the road. It's not too much stuff to clean out back here. And for the wagon guys, the RT 4-wheel drive is accessible from the back seat, and I'll show you guys that in a minute, pulling the fuel pump out of there. And now I gotta dig in that box for my fuel pump. Alright, so I found the fuel pump right here. It's a Walbro. So if you flip the back seat on the driver's side in the wagon, you have two axis covers. One is the sending unit, the other one's a fuel pump. Now the front wheel drive wagon does not have this axis cover. Even though on my wagon I kind of measured it out, cut a hole, and then boom, there it is. Mailman just came through. We got a package from For Bang Her Production. I'm with it. Alright, so praying I don't cut the shirt, but shout out to Right Hand Drive Kev for the care package here. We got some Fort Bangers sticker. We got a blue one for the wagon. We got the red one for the CRX. We got a white one just cuz, and we have a black one in case we want to stay stealth. And then we got the big boy 3XL in gray because black ran out, but I'll still rock this all day. Fort Banger Production t-shirt and some cards. So yeah, if you guys don't follow Fort Banger Production everywhere, YouTube, Facebook, all that good shit, y'all better hit him up right here. A lot of great contents. He has a badass 300 horsepower Integra. Check it out. Fort Banger Production. Thank you. Pretty straightforward. It's got 6 10mm on the top, and if your car has gone through a lot of mud or it's just aged, I mean obviously they're aged, they're going to have a lot of gunk and dirt build up on top of it. I used a wire brush right there to scrub the top of it and break loose all the dirt and stuff, and then I sprayed it down with some brake cleaner to pressurize them away from the port of the oil pump, from the port of the fuel tank. So you got one hose here with the hose clamp, 17mm nut for the fuel out, and then one power clip. Remove the bolts and lift up gently, angle it to get the filter out with it, and you can see in comparison right here between stock and Walbro. Alright, so now let's reinstall this pump here, close this all back up, and work my way back up to the front. And there you have it. Make sure you got the seal on here before reinstalling it. Mine was good. I plugged this up right here, put it onto my Makita battery, primed, it squirted fuel, it wasn't leaking. Now it's time to put the cover back on. Alright, so fuel system is done. Installed the Walbro 255. O-ring the end fitting here and the one on the bottom. Those are tightened up. The side is tightened. All the AM fittings are tightened. The dash 4 is tightened. And the pressure gauge is tightened down. So I'll calibrate the PSI when the car is on. Set it at 55 base until it gets to the dyno. So now I'm gonna move inside to the car and remove the shifter box and the shift cable, and then I'm going to install the ktuned base plate as well as the CRV shifter box and cable. Alright guys, so there are 4 12mm bolts that's holding the shifter box onto the tunnel, and then you'd want to take off the cotter pin to remove these 2 cables attached to the shifter box, and then 2 complicated ass like C-clip thing to remove this portion off the shifter box, which is up in the front here. Okay, so that goes routed into the firewall, and let me show you the other side here. There are 2 10mm I think nut that are bolted to a bracket which the shift cable goes through under the firewall. So you can already see that I got one ratchet on one of the bolts, and the other one's going to be really complicated down there. So once you get that 2 off, the bracket comes off the firewall, and you can pull the whole shift cable through the firewall, through the engine bay, and out. What a bitch. I ended up, you can see down there, I ended up cutting one of the 10 mils off. It was wedged between the sway bar and I couldn't fit my hand all the way down there to get it out, so put a sawzall on that bitch, cut it out. Ktuned billet shifter plate. These are for the stock shifter box or the pro shifter box to be mounted in the car. Beautiful, beautiful piece made out of made out of straight billet aluminum. Too bright, so looks like that. I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter which way it bolts up. Pretty symmetrical. So yeah, that goes on like that. The I think the RSX shifter box is the same as the CRV, but since I got the CRV tranny and the shifter box came with it, I'm gonna be rocking the CRV shifter box, even though I also have the RSX shifter box. So that goes on like that. Let me set up inside the car here and see where all the bolts go up to. Alright, so I just watched a video from ktuned on the YouTube channel, and they say that this base plate could be used in 2 different ways or whatever, right? But that's not the important part of this. The important part is he said that 2 of these bolts bolt up to the OEM bolt location on the tunnel, and the other 2 you gotta drill out the hole. Cool, sounds good. Now I'm putting it on. You can obviously see that these bolts do not let's see here. So if I line up the one right here on the right, you can see how far this one is to that bolt. And if they per se if they did lined up, it's totally off where the original shifter box sat. But I think if the bolt's at here, no, that's about right. So okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna align this to, let me see here. So the shifter box, I would say if the shifter was in neutral, from the bar to the back we got about 4 inches. Eyeballing it now, 4 inches. And then from this shifter here being straight up like so, from that to the back is about the same. So I'll probably say about 3 to 4 inches. So from this bolt here forward, the shifter should be somewhere right here in the middle. And if I was to bolt this down, I think it seems pretty ideal that the shifter box should be sitting somewhere right there. Okay, so I'm going to be going off, I think, the rear bolt. So I'm gonna align it somewhere there, get it nice and straight, drill out some holes, go under the car, bolt it down, and then set the box in place. Alright, so after a little bit of fighting with the cables going through the firewall and all of that, finally got it all hooked up. I'm actually using the solid bushings instead of the rubber one, because with the rubber one and the Allen key, the shifter can still come out of it because the spacer is not big enough to hold down the rubber bushing unless I put a wash on it, and it smacked me in the face. So I changed them over to the solid bushing, and it's pretty firm on here, feels pretty good. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Gonna top it off with a hybrid racing weighted shift knob. This one came in the 7th gen, and I actually kind of like this shifter just because like how high it sits as stock as it is. This ball shifter feels really nice. Oh, look, it ends right exactly forward facing on the hybrid racing emblem logo. So yeah, feels really nice. Anyways, I'm gonna clean up a little bit all my tools and shit that's inside the car, all the bolts and stuff, put it in the miscellaneous bin, and then I am going to see if there is anything else I could do tonight that's not gonna take a lot of time. It's about 7:30, or yeah, it's about 7:30 right now. So after I clean up, maybe some small projects that I'm able to do, I'll do it. Maybe I'll fit the traction bar or something. Alright, so all my tools and everything are put away except this guy right here. And I think I'm gonna try to fit the headlight back on the passenger side. It looks very promising. Doesn't seem like I have to do much besides cut this bracket right here, and it may work. But if it came down to it, I'll just eliminate the back housing of the high beam side, and he'll just have only one. So then I'm gonna try to block it off if that was the case, to keep moisture out. But first I'm gonna start cutting that bracket and see how that goes. Well, I completely lied to you guys, and it wasn't just the bracket, it was literally the whole back dome of the high beam housing. You can see here, pretty much chopped the whole backside out, and a little bit of the bracket off. I left this portion here because this is the auto adjuster. It's kind of where it bolts down to, so a little bit of structural support, but definitely gone, and definitely clears the supercharger. I mean, who uses high beams anyways, right? So let me see here. I know people are commenting about getting a head gear or a tripod or something, but you guys, I mean, not you guys, but I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm using my iPhone to do all the recording here, so it's gonna be kind of weird to have a phone on my head or a chest piece or something. So I apologize if I'm struggling with trying to record and work with one hand, all the shaking, all the moving, whatever, like right now. But yeah, headlights on. Let me turn on the flashlight real quick. Barely cleared the alternator. You definitely see that whole back piece had to be cut out because that would interfere with the alternator and the belt right here. But it clears right here. Like that. If I left that open, you could be like, oh damn, look at that thing, there's a belt right there, supercharger, crazy. Anyways. Autofocus. But yeah, headlights on, and I'm just gonna go ahead and somehow figure out to cover the back side of this. Maybe fiberglass it another day so it's really strong. I was originally going to use cardboard or wood with adhesive of some sort, but I'm probably going to fiberglass it another day. Probably do a little bit more trimming to make sure it fully clears. Other than that, that's going to conclude tonight's video. It is about almost 8 o'clock now, and don't want to be out here any later. But today I covered the touching up on the fuel line. Nose kind of duck. That's even worse. I covered the shifter box. Hopefully I explained parts and mods that you had to do to get that shifter box to be in there. What else did I do? Headlight. Now it's not a one-eye jack anymore. I was gonna work with the traction bar, but the traction bar is in the backyard. I'll probably do that tomorrow. No, actually tomorrow I'm gonna be bowling with my coworkers, so I might not be working on the car tomorrow. Other than that, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you guys want to see more progress of this build, you already know, stay on board. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one.